Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. It's Sunday. You know what that means? Of course, it means we're here continuing the journey of Ben 10 Omniverse. This is the final episode of Ben 10 Omniverse. Of course, Season 8, Episode 10. Of course, we'll not know the title until I get into the episode. This is not only the ending of Omniverse, this is the ending of the continuity of 4 shows. Of course, Ben 10, classic. Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, Omniverse. And it really is emotional for me. It is. I started this journey back in November of 2021, had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I have fallen in love with the Ben 10 franchise. And it's crazy. Around the time I'm wrapping up the Omniverse and wrapping up these 4 show continuity wise, there's a Ben 10 comic, right? There's a Ben 10 comic out now, a brand new continuity, and it is just great timing on that. But the hope is there for more Ben 10. Now I know there's the reboot, and I've already mentioned how I'm going to be covering, or at least starting the reboot to see what happens. I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to cover the whole thing, but we'll see. But this is crazy, right? I knew eventually Ben 10 was going to end in terms of this continuity of these 4 shows, because when I delved into Classic, you guys were saying, hey, there's more, like there's more shows, like there's, sequel shows and everything, like there's a lot to cover. And it's crazy that I've covered every single episode. Well, until I finish watching this one. For this continuity. I think I make that clear because there's the reboot and all this stuff. So, yeah. I don't want to watch the episode. Because I don't want it to end, But, as they say, a door closes, another opens. Or what's that? Or a door closes, a window opens. There's many different ways you can phrase that. Because this is not really the end, right? This is the end of this. This is the end of this continuity, these 4 shows, in terms of me watching it for the first time. But there is more to the journey of Ben 10. Because, of course, a lot of people have been recommending for years Ink Tank. Specifically, some of his spoiler videos. Some people have already recommended some for me to check out. There's also I guess something to do with like alien fusions or something that people really want me to check out after wrapping up Omniverse here. There's also the 5 Year Later, which I think Ink Tank is involved in terms of like a big like Ben 10 fan comic that crosses over with Danny Phantom that I've never seen before, by the way. Not seen Danny Phantom. I've seen bits and pieces, but not really. And of course, there's still the Ben 10 comic that's brand new coming out, a new continuity, a new storyline. And there's also rumblings of another Ben 10 project or something. You just never know. Who knows if the comic does really well? Maybe there's an idea of a new show, maybe based off the comic, or just maybe a new show after Omniverse. I mean, who knows? You never know. And of course, there's the reboot, which a lot of people are saying don't cover, but I understand it, but it's something else, right? And there's still other just stuff in general for me to cover. So the journey is ending here, yes, but the journey is far from being done. Right, there's still plenty more to cover. So I hope you guys stick around to enjoy. I've loved watching what they've progressed and what they've done with like this canon and this like whole entire universe and how expansive it's gotten, how many characters have been introduced. I mean, it has been wild watching what they've built from this show of a little kid and his cousin and his grandpa, who's weird, that knows a lot more than he leads on to believe. He acts like he has no idea what's going on, and he gets a watch, and then it spirals out from there. Like, who would have thought watching that pilot episode of a young 10-year-old kid getting the Omnitrix, getting this like device, he turns into aliens, and all of a sudden we're now here where he's known throughout the entirety of the galaxy of Ben 10 as Ben Tennyson, the hero. And now we're going to be seeing the final episode of the building blocks of all the stuff they've done. Not everything good, but there's been some phenomenal, beautiful moments that these shows have brought out, that have hit. I still remember when young Ben met current Ben in Ultimate Alien. That was an insane moment. And then now, of course, seeing an Omniverse where we have so many like different like versions of Bens, and we're seeing a lot of like the future stuff and or just president. What? it's just crazy how much we've gotten from this, like, from this world that thankfully worked when Classic started. Because imagine if Ben 10, like, the first series didn't work. Imagine if it only lasted, like, 2 seasons. And they didn't get 4. They didn't get a Secret of the Omnitrix movie, right? We never got any of that. Like, imagine if the show just wasn't doing well. It could have easily happened. But we ended up getting 4 shows. We got, like, live-action movies. Which I do plan on rewatching for the channel as, like, reactions stuff. So, we'll see about that. But, yeah. It's truly been crazy. So, I don't want to watch the episode, but I have to. But I have to see how we conclude Ben 10 Omniverse and how we conclude these 4 shows. So without further ado, let's get into now, guys. Let's check out this episode and see what they show us. And I'm excited, but also sad to wrap this up. But let's get into the episode, guys. Season 8, Episode 10. Let's go. Okay, he is now gone.
Hurry!
Paradox! Yes!
You haven't much time.
Time pun.
I know you will not fail.
I won't.
I hope not. Oh my god. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Oh!
Ben, be careful. Ben?
He doesn't care. Oh! Dark Forest? Are we back at the pilot?
You told to the fact. This is not a democracy.
Who's that?
Huh?
What? Ben 10.
Do not move.
Okay. Don't move.
George Washington?
What?
Oh man, this is amazing! If it is
A New Dawn?
I don't know you either.
The muck upon your arms speaks.
That is Ben Tennyson.
Yeah,
And
he
I
doesn't
am
know
no
who he
beast,
is.
sir. I am Rook Blanco.
Are you from Earth?
Why is George Washington here?
Sure.
That's just weird.
I thought they were wooden.
Nope.
Wooden teeth.
1773.
Yeah, why George Washington randomly in a forest?
Curiosity about your time war, but I have my
Yeah.
orders.
Orders for
I
what?
hunt a poor soul trapped in a death-like state. My society calls itself plumier, French for ironworkers.
He's a plumber? What? What the hell?
Don't worry.
What are we doing?
Got this.
A specter.
Oh, miss. Yeah, you might need some help. What?
Thank you, sir.
Mark Hamill again.
Perhaps your Revolutionary War has not started yet.
War?
Uh-oh.
Judging by the position of Alpha Centauri.
What the hell? Oh.
I received
Ooh!
a distress signal. Is someone in need of assistance?
Young Vilgax?
Not a pleasant surprise. From a time traveler. That's high praise.
High
The only
praise.
reputation I've earned. What are you doing in this sector?
Oh, he got thrown there from the time.
Do we seriously have to walk?
My
I
horses
mean-
are stabled for the night, else we would ride.
That's maltruant.
Mm-hmm. And there's Vilgax.
These are 2 of the most powerful bad guys I've
Yep.
ever faced. So
Mhm.
here's the plan.
He's gone. Dude. Hell yeah.
I have no idea.
This is so weird, but hey, here we are.
But only if he sees you. Oh.
Accelerate! Yes! Yes! Yes!
Ignore the human. What an unexpected turn of events.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, this turn of events is about to kick your butt.
Transformed.
Oh my god. I think we've seen that before, right? But that's cool. Ooh. Yes, here we go. Good job, Rook. Oh, come on. That's handy.
Dr. Franklin.
The ability to transform at will.
Oh my gosh, this got him the obsession. The power of that device. Bye, George
And a
Washington.
suggestion.
He's got another one, Ben. You just said he didn't have one. Where's he going? Uh-oh.
No way. Is that what?
Is that what?
A Contamelia ship.
What?
What is it doing here?
I think we're about to find out.
Where the hell are they?
Don't worry.
It's a ship,
I
but like...
got it. You are going down, man.
He's probably not there.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Mr. Smoothie! Or Smoothies, or whatever.
Huh?
I see 3 of my father.
We are the Contumelia, but our fifth-dimensional forms cannot
Okay.
be seen by your eyes. A geneto-metamorphic. How interesting. Do you have anything to do with our other guest?
Well, yes,
That's
yeah.
truant.
He is as inconsequential to the experiment as you are.
Experiment?
We are about to create a universe. The countdown
Oh.
has already begun.
The Contamelia go from universe to universe, destroying them, not creating them.
Shit.
I suspect that if a universe already exists in this dimension,
How do you know of the Annihilar Genesis story of Thymia Ghost?
Now Truant has one
Lot,
of his own
lot
that
of
he's
stuff.
gonna
A lot of
use.
reasons.
Interesting.
3 alternate versions of myself.
That's what he sees.
We shall relish in the victory.
It is impossible to breach or turn off.
Well, if you're not going to do anything, I am. Rook.
They don't work. Oh.
too bad that time has not begun yet.
Shit. He should have thought that through. Chroma Stone. Come on, Rook, you got this. Gotta do something. Oh shit.
Never told me you had celestial sapient DNA in here.
Oh shit.
So elusive.
Interesting.
They're just like, we're watching it like, ooh. Shit.
Well, we had a
Oh
good
my
run,
God.
dear friend.
Sorry, I called you a snot rocket.
Oh shit.
Believe my last words are snot rocket.
I have dreamed for millennia of this moment. What is happening? What are you doing?
We are observing.
They're observing, not doing anything. Oh! Oh my God! All the aliens, holy shit!
You cannot do this.
He just did. Holy shit. Dude.
I always figured the Omnitrix had a failsafe that wouldn't let me die, and sure enough, it kicked
Dude.
in right when the Big Bang started. It always seems to give me the right alien, even when I want something else.
True,
Guess I should
in a
stop
way.
fighting it. It seems to know me better than me. This is the most amazingest thing
Wow.
anyone could ever see.
Your species is the most important in all of creation.
What?
For eons, these slamiots will carry and deposit DNA across the growing universe.
Thank you, Skurd. I owe you my life.
You do.
And I owe you mine.
Wow. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Well done, Benjamin.
Maltruant is stuck in a time loop.
And he is doomed to failure over
Shit.
and over.
The only person who doesn't know about the time loop is Maltruant himself. Oh, and you, I guess. After what we just saw, sitting around sipping smoothies seems a bit...
Mundane.
Yes.
This place will be fine and dandy without us. We just helped create the universe.
Well-
Let's go check it out. Gwendolyn. You and
Gwendolyn.
Kevin, pack
Let's
your
go.
bags.
Aw.
We're going on a road trip.
Wow. And that's it. And there you have it. The final episode. I am just... Damn. There's no more. There's no more. I don't know where to begin exactly. I guess I'll say this. I think ending basically where a universe is going to be built, right? A new timeline's going to be made. And the fact that Maltruant is stuck in this loop that he's not aware of, and this is just going to continue to happen. And Ben's aware of it. Ben is aware that there's a loop that just keeps on happening where Maltruant will put himself back together, but he will continuously fail every time. And he's stuck in this loop and he doesn't even know it. And the fact that Ben holding on to the Denialarg, transforming into all the aliens, was a fucking fantastic moment. It was so cool to see all, even though they were going by so fast, by highlighting all. I think it's all the aliens. I'm pretty sure it's all of them. So many. And the fact that there's like these 3 sentient beings that we can't comprehend what they look like. So they're 3 big Mr. Smoothie Cups to Ben. They're 3 of Rook's fathers, like his father times 3. And then Maltruant is seeing himself 3 times. Like, that's how they're seeing them, like these sentient beings that are observing. They just observe. They're not interfering. Because Maltruant's like, what are you doing interfering? Like, we're observing. We're observing Ben about to defeat you. And the fact that Ben saw the universe be recreated. Now, it was stated by Rook at the end of the episode that since they were a part of, I guess, recreating the universe, there was really a lot going on. I don't know if that's implying there's never going to be a true, like, villain again, or a true, like, situation where they're actually needed. I think it's just implying that things are just kind of quiet. Because I would presume that in between storylines and things happening in episodes of Omniverse, stuff's just happening that we just don't see, right? Other events, other things in the timeline, and there's probably like time where nothing's really happening. Because I would assume that not every single day something's happening in Bellwood, or something that is needed, like Ben and Rook are needed to go do something, right? So my only real critique that I will say about this episode, and it's probably not something you're thinking. You're probably thinking it's something that they included. It's actually something they didn't include. Actually, technically 2 things. Well, I guess 3 things, because it's a character for each of the things. No Grandpa Max at all. I feel like that was, like, even though I understand, like, hey, there's a lot of shit going on, we're continuing the narrative of, you know, what was started in episode 9, and we got to see Max retiring in the future and everything. Like, we did no Grandpa Max whatsoever, and the fact that the second thing is no Kevin, third thing is no Gwen. I know he called Gwen Gwendolyn, but we never saw them. Not even for a split second. I think it would have been really cool to have Ben and Rook maybe see Max, like they're leaving the plumber base or something, going to Mr. Smoothie, and maybe they're talking about what they just witnessed in terms of the rebirth of the universe, and there's Max or whatever, and he's waving goodbye to them or something, like something. And then we get to, like, Mr. Smoothie, and then they're about to go on this trip, and then you see Gwen and Kevin pull up in the car, and then there's the little alien dog, you know, Kyra the huntsman's dog, that's now Kevin and Gwen's dog. At least seeing that would have been just something to kind of acknowledge Grandpa Max and his significance through the 4 shows, and then Kevin and Gwen's significance and a lot of this continuity, a lot of this canon of the shows, right? I think it would have been very important. Like, it would have been good if they would have done that. And the fact that they didn't is kind of irksome. It kind of hurts a little bit. Now, I know they were a focus in episode 9 in the flash forward stuff with Ben 10,000. I understand. I get it. I'm just stating it's the final episode. And I don't know if they knew it was the final episode when they were making it. That's the thing. I don't know truly if it was the final episode, but it felt like it was. Just because of the fact, we're going to go on a road trip, which they've never ended a season with something like that. Like, they've never ended a season like that. And then pulling out and then seeing, you know, all the stuff and the galaxies and everything. So it really felt like it was wrapping up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was a plan for more episodes. I don't know. I'm just stating, since it was the end, I wish we would have included those characters. The beginning half of this episode was a little strange with George Washington. Like what? But then the reveal that he's actually a plumber, and that there's some sort of, like, disease or something, that he poured liquid on that one guy and he became better again, and it was voiced by Mark Hamill, that one character. Strange. But then we had Maltruant and a young Vilgax facing off against George Washington and Ben. Like, it's just strange. But the way they had it makes sense is because Vilgax has not seen the Omnitrix before. This would mess up the timeline majorly, and I'm glad they addressed it and made it make sense, because Vilgax is like, wait, what? Like there's you, Maltruant, and now there's this speedster. I know he said the species of both them, but now there's Accelerate, which is like, I love Accelerate, love it. And then all of a sudden, here's the mustache little guy, right? and Vilgax's like, that device, he could transform. So it gave him, so Ben fighting him in 1773 in the timeline made Vilgax obsessed with what this device is. It started the obsession. I thought that was interesting how they did that. And also with George Washington, the cherry tree, chopping down the cherry tree, and how in the continuity of Ben 10, the history book says there was a cherry tree and George Washington chopped down a cherry tree. There's also a report of a cherry tree spaceship reported, and he's chopped down the cherry tree, or, you know, the mechanical device that went out from the ship, and there's young Vilgax, which, by the way, like the design of young Vilgax, I think it works in terms of, you know, what he presumably would have looked like, because we did see young Vilgax back in Classic whenever we saw a flashback with Max, and we saw a younger, thinner Vilgax. He wasn't all muscular and, you know, big. So it kind of makes sense timeline-wise that he would still he would look like that. So, interesting. And seeing Maltruant interacting with Vilgax is interesting too, right? That's cool. Like, Maltruant knows who that is. So having Vilgax involved in some sort of way, even though it's not really the Vilgax we know, he will become that. And then his obsession has now started with the Omnitrix. That device, I must have it. You know, if they could have gotten away with it. I want the Omnitrix. Give me the Omnitrix. Yeah. It's hard to put into words, because I did speak quite a bit in the intro. It's hard to put into words what this franchise means to me. I think you guys know, I've done so much content outside of the Ben 10 reactions for the show. I've talked about it quite a bit. I've done multiple live streams with Darren and Kaisept, and obviously this is not, like, as I in the intro I mentioned, this is not the end of Ben 10. This is just the ending of one journey. You know, there's still plenty more to go. So there's no reason to leave. Like, there's still Ben 10 content coming. You're getting the comic coverage. You're going to be getting spoiler videos from Ink Tank 5 years later, comic reactions, other kinds of Ben 10 content that I couldn't check out before because of the fact that I didn't wrap up Omniverse, even though you may or may not be interested. But there is the reboot that I'm looking at, and potentially looking at doing some revisions of looking at Ben 10 Classic. I still haven't 100% as I'm recording the video here, but I will be having a video being put out before this reaction that's going to be going into more detail about some things about Ben 10 in terms of as a whole, for what the plan is for, you know, moving forward in terms of certain stuff to cover. So make sure you watch that video, because I'll be recording that later, because I haven't fully decided 100% everything, but I mostly know what I'm doing. But yeah, I love Ben 10. Like, that's why I was really pushing and mentioning the reboot, because I know a lot of people don't want me to cover it, but I love Ben 10 so much that I want to give it a shot. It's not going to ruin my love and appreciation for this franchise. It won't. If it's not for me, it's not for me. And that's fine. I'm willing to accept that. Don't worry about it. Like, I will be fine. I still contend, and I've said this before, and it's true. This is, to me, one of the best franchises, IPs, that's out there. And there's a reason why it's made so much money. The reason why it's so popular. And I think if they were to announce another animated show, it would blow up. It would get so much attention, because there are people on a daily basis still discovering Ben 10. And there are people that haven't been on, like, the Ben 10 fandom in a while, that kind of dropped off, that are coming back because the comic is out, or they're rediscovering the shows again, or whatever it is. Like, the IP is not dead. It had its time to take a small break, because Reboot, I think, ended in terms of like a movie or something wrapping it all up a couple years ago. And we've been kind of in a lull, if you will. Not really nothing much happening. but now we're back at it again with the comic, and I think it's it's revitalizing, and there's a lot of fan stuff that's coming out recently too over the last couple of years, like a lot of fan stuff, not just Ink Tank, but just stuff in general of people putting out fan comics, people putting out fan just projects and just stuff. And I think there was like an announcement of like some sort of like live action concept that's being developed right now that was just like showcased like a week or something ago, and they're going to be filming like a live action concept of Ben 10 with Kevin and Gwen, which is pretty cool. So that's interesting. Like there's a lot of stuff to still look forward to in the Ben 10 world, and in the Ben 10 fandom more specifically, outside of me wrapping up Omniverse and these 4 shows as a whole in terms of everything they've done. So I'm excited. I'm excited to jump into the next part of my journey, which is unfortunately not covering these shows necessarily, but Ben 10 content is still going to be coming. There's still going to be Ben 10 live streams at some point. There's still going to be, like I said, reactions and shit to other stuff. So yeah. But Omniverse as a whole was pretty solid. I would say ranking wise, I think I rank Omniverse 3rd out of the 4 shows. I think I'm going to make a video more discussing it in general, or maybe a live stream with Darren at some point soon, hopefully, to discuss the 4 shows as a whole. But I think ranking wise, as I'm sitting here at this moment, I think number 1 is Ben 10 Classic. I think number 2 is Alien Force. Number 3 is Omniverse. And number 4 is Ultimate Alien. Now, Alien Force and Omniverse could flip-flop depending on the day, because there were some stuff in Alien Force that wasn't great. But there was a number of stuff in Omniverse that wasn't good either. But I think both shows are ultimately better, pun, than Ultimate Alien. Ultimate Alien, it being in 4th place out of the 4 shows, is not a slap or a knock at Ultimate Alien. Ultimate Alien had some really cool shit. Like fucking Ben, young Ben meeting current day, like teenage Ben, Kevin and Gwen. Like phenomenal. Love it. I fucking screamed in that video. Lost my mind in that video. But we also got to look at the fact that Ultimate Alien did have a lot of questionable stuff and just a lot of meh stuff that just wasn't good. Like there was a lot more of that. And Omniverse had its share of troubles, but I think overall it was a better product because of how much crazier the show could get, because of the fact that Professor Paradox was more involved in shit. There was a lot more time travel and multiversal travel. Like it just, there's a lot more Omniverse could do. The Ultimate Alien, unfortunately, was doing some cool shit with Ultimate Aliens and everything, but not to the level of what Omniverse could do in terms of the highs, right? So, but they're kind of close in some areas when it comes to the low shit. So, yeah. I think it's also nice, too, that Ben is going on a vacation, a road trip. Like, to hopefully not run into trouble, but to just spend time with Rook, Gwen, and Kevin, right? Which is a I'm saying a trio, but it's not a trio, it's 4 of them. But like a quadrio, but just to see them 4 together, we didn't really see that enough. Now I understand it's because the voice actors for Kevin and Gwen were not series regulars, so like having them, you have to pay them a certain amount to guest and to be a part of it or something, because I don't think they were reoccurring either, because they were so like inconsistent with their appearances. Like they may appear twice or 3 times per season, so they weren't reoccurring. I would say they're probably guest stars, so you have to pay them a certain amount, and then based on the budget and how much money they have, you know, you couldn't have them all the time. And also you're taking away from the fact that you have Ben and Rook, which I felt like that dynamic between them definitely got better over time. And I really do appreciate Rook. Unfortunately, it will always be Kevin, Gwen, and Ben as the better trio, and ultimately, for me personally, as I am a little bit biased with my love of classic, it's the best trio, the best grouping is always still going to be Ben, Gwen, and Max from classic, but right under, like a smidge under it, is Ben, Gwen, and Kevin, of course, from Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. But like Ben and Rook definitely rose up. So if it's like at the tip top 10 out of 10, Ben, Gwen, Max, then right below it is Alien Force, Ultimate Alien Trio, Kevin, Gwen, and Ben, and then I would say down here is probably where Ben and Rook are. So they're not like smidge down, they're a little bit lower. Like I feel Rook has grown on me as a character, and I think that he really brought a different like angle to storylines, especially with him just being one singular added character versus having a trio, which I wonder how that would have been if we would have had a trio where Ben is working with two new people. But maybe that would have been too much. But also think of it too, it would have been seen as, oh, it's just another version of the trio they've already done. Like, they've already done it twice with one trio in the first show, and then shows 2 and 3 we had replacing Max with Kevin. And now in the final show, we're going to have Rook and another new character with Ben. Like, so it would have been a newer trio with just Ben being the most consistent. I don't know if you can hear that. There's freaking train horn, and it's so fucking frustrating because I just want to film and not worry about fucking sound. If you're not hearing it, great. If you are, I do apologize. But I can hear it, and it's annoying me. Just don't want to hear anything else because I want to focus. So I wonder how that would have worked. But I'm glad it didn't happen, though, because I think it would have been too confusing. Or maybe not the right word, but at least it would have been at first, because like now we have to follow and develop 2 new characters versus the one, which is Rook. So, yeah. So, in conclusion, Ben 10 will always have a special place in my heart. I'm so happy you guys pushed for it and pushed for me to cover it. And, like, obviously, I'm going to, like, this is not merely wrapping up my overall thoughts about Ben 10 as a whole, because, like, I can always do that at a later date. But I just want to say, and I'll probably say it probably a few more times before Ben 10 is truly done on the channel, which I don't think is ever really going to happen. There's always going to be Ben 10 stuff to cover it, or in some sort of capacity to talk about. But in terms of these 4 shows, I just want to thank you all for following the journey. And I know a lot of people have dropped off over time just due to the fact that when they dropped off the show, or they really just haven't been keeping up. But thanks to everybody who has been following me along on this journey, whether you started at the very beginning, whether you jumped in later, whenever it was. And if you were a part of that group that really pushed and really got Ben 10 voted in to be the next show on Sundays, I mean, it was a consistent, with a few times I had to take breaks, but it was pretty much almost every Sunday Ben 10. And we got through it in like 5 years? Getting close. Started November 2021. It's now May of 2026. And we're now finally wrapping up the final show in the 4-show connection. So yeah. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. And as I've stated multiple times, I'll repeat it once more, and I'll stop saying it, at least in this video. The Ben 10 journey is not done. There's still more to do. Do not worry. There's still more to come. So, and I know some people are probably going to leave and unsubscribe, and I understand that. But I hope most of you at least stay and continue to support the channel for other content and other Ben 10 content coming down the pipeline. Shout out to Darren. So, look forward to all that. I hope you guys enjoyed the journey. It has been emotional. And I figured as much I wasn't going to cry, because it's not like a sad thing, but it is kind of sad because it really has been a very consistent thing in my YouTube life for a long time to watch Ben 10 like this. But there's still more to come. So it's truly not over. Like, that's the cool thing. If there was no reboot, there was no comic, there was no like real big fan stuff for me to react to, then it would feel like it's finite ending. But there's still more to go. There's still more stuff to check out. So follow me along on this next journey. This is ending this chapter, but a new chapter is going to be beginning. So thank you guys so much. Thank you all for supporting. I appreciate it, and hopefully you'll continue to support. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, everybody.